Welcome back to Foxy's Art Box. Today we're going to be making resin snowflake ornaments. These are really simple to make using the 6 snowflake molds from Let's Resin. You pour a little bit of the color that you're looking for in the center of each one. This color is actually called purple agate. At the moment it looks blue, and this is the case with some resin dyes. They will actually be a different color when they're mixed in and will actually end up settling into their cured color later. So just pour a little bit into the center of each of the molds and let it kind of settle out for just a little bit. I also added to all of the resin in this a little bit of liquid glitter, which is a special kind of glitter that will stay suspended and ends up looking very sparkly. Now in this first mold, this is the only one that will actually end up with the resin color in different areas. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just topping it off a little bit more to make certain that I can get into the nice little corners of those center spikes. There's another trick with this particular one. It has a tendency to actually catch bubbles into the tips of each one. So you're going to want to take something and just kind of gently probe in there to release the bubble. 'Cause even in a pressure pot, if there's a big enough bubble in a section, it can't take care of it. Now we're going to take some clear resin with a little bit of the glitter and pour it right into the center. We're doing a color push, pushing all those colors to the edges. We'll do that with each one, making sure to let it flow all the way to the edges and all the way to the top. These flat ones are a little bit different, as there is a top piece that acts as the hanger. And so you'll need to take a fine tool and gently run it around the top section to make sure that there's no bubbles that get caught and that section is complete. Otherwise you won't have the appropriate hanger. These were in the pressure pot overnight, and now they're fully cured, so now it's time to demold them. Gently grab onto the corner and pull it over the top of each of the points. This is a little tricky and a little unnerving the first time that you do it, but these particular molds, especially if they came from Let's Resin, are actually very pliable and will handle this just fine. Just gently tug and be very careful of the spot that's for the hanger. So there's like a little spire that you'll need to be careful of. Same with this one, it has a tendency to catch just a bit, so you'll need to like pull it backwards in between the two sections and just work it all the way around, being very patient and very careful, and it will come free. Next, it's this one. Again, it pops free fairly easily. Just be patient and stretch it over each of the sections, being very careful of that little sprue. Looking kind of cool now, aren't they? Nice and glittery. I found this one to be the hardest. For whatever reason, getting it over that central point is the trickiest part, just because it folds in on itself. Once more, it's just a matter of gently working with it until you can get each of the little basic leaves out of there. And once it's free, it looks cool. The flat ones come off fairly simple, just a matter of gently freeing them and then making sure that you wiggle it off of the actual hanger. And with that, they're all free. Now 4 of them will have these little sprues, and you'll want to cut them off because it'll make it a little bit difficult to drill the hole. So just taking some wire cutters, gently nip that off, and you'll have a nice little divot that kind of shows you where you want to drill your hole. As I said, 4 of them. Those are the 4 that are on the left-hand side will need holes. The other 2 already have them as part of the molding process. So let's get the holes in. Line up the drill bit. Make sure that it's right over centered over the hole. And then bring her down with the drill on to punch all the way through. And that'll make a nice little hole. I happen to have a Dremel tool with the workstation, which allows me to turn it into a drill press. So I'm just going to go through each one of the ones that I need to drill. I did trim out the lining up the drill bit each time, but I did do that with every single one. And now that they're all done, it's a matter of stringing each one. So I just ran some nice little shimmery twine through each one of the holes. And then I just tie a simple knot at the top that will secure it. Through the power of fast forward, they're done. You can see the little shimmers in the light. They're really pretty. I like them simple. So here are our ornaments, all finished. There's a little bit of glitter to them, but not too much, which that subtlety really helps. Really picks up in the light. But I like the deep colors in this particular set. And that's how we make snowflakes with resin, capturing a little bit of winter's magic. Have a happy holiday! And happy crafting!